Welcome to Entrepreneur Conundrum with Virginia Purnell, where growing entrepreneurs share how they get visible online.
Hey everyone! Today I'm talking with Mary Lawson, a fine art-trained photographer and entrepreneur who has spent more than 15 years capturing life's most meaningful moments through her company, Colleen Photography. Based in Valley View, Alberta, Mary built her business from the ground up, turning her creative passion into a trusted name in school, sports, and event photography. Her artistic eye and genuine love of people shine through in everything she does, and today she's sharing how creativity, courage, and connection have shaped her journey. Welcome, Mary.
Hello. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you.
Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
So, how did you get to where you are today?
How did I get to where I am today? It is a long journey. I got to Valley View just because my husband got a job here teaching. I happened to be on mat leave, and at that time I was working at the Art Gallery of Calgary I was a technician, I was a curator, I was the event photographer, I was a lot of things. Before that, we were in Ontario for 2 months. Before that, we were in England where I was doing my master's degree, which was fantastic. And I worked at two different art galleries there. And before that, I was in Lethbridge, Alberta. And then before that, I was in London, Ontario. So it's been kind of a journey to get here. But it all started with a camera, and I got my first camera at 5, and I just kind of been using a camera ever since. In discipline, going through school as an artist, to taking family pictures, to doing corporate pictures, to now doing a photo booth.
The photo booth is probably a lot different than the other aspects.
It is a lot different, but in some ways it's the same. I'd kind of been doing it already in my business before I even kind of got into it, if that makes any sense. Because you're still like, even event photography, you're still doing it up, you still have a station. Sometimes you could have props, you're still using your camera. The photo booth automates it, which is really good, but it also allows you to do different things with it. So it's an extension of doing it, which is why I really like it. But I really like it because it's so different from the normal stuff that I normally do on an everyday basis. And it's capturing people just having fun and being silly, which in my regular practice of doing photography is always what I wanted, is always what I tell family when I go to take their picture. Be silly, be fun, be normal. It doesn't need to be a Sears picture. It's not Instagram perfect. It's you guys being together. And that's what I like about it. So, yeah.
Is the photo booth a way of cloning yourself?
I wish I could clone myself. Kind of. It allows me to have something to take the picture while I interact with the people a little bit. And I do like that. Yeah, it gives me a little bit of hands off.
So you work with a bunch of sports teams and families as well as schools.
Hmm.
How did you get to be in front of them? How did all that work out?
When we lived in Calgary and I was working at the Art Gallery of Calgary, at that point, there was a person that came in to photograph. His name is Justin Murphy, and he would photograph the exhibitions. And so, me having a background in photography, and I would work the front of the house sometimes. And so I started talking to him. And from there, I learned that he had a photography business and he was taking pictures in schools. And he was just starting out doing that as well. So I became his first employee at the time, which was fantastic. We would learn things together. We would go and do the schools, and that was great. And I did lots of things with him, working under him. He was my mentor for a while, so that was really good. And so when we moved to northern Alberta, to Valley View, I thought, okay, I've worked in art galleries, which I love, but the closest art gallery is over an hour away. And then we moved here when my daughter was 2 months old. And if you've driven between Valley View and Grand Prairie, you know that in the wintertime, that hill and the roads are terrible. So I was kind of like, that's not an option. So then I thought, how can I get into the schools? How can I do this, what I kind of have been doing under him in Calgary? So I slowly just approached all the schools and the school boards, and it took a long time to get into it. I started out by doing the grad pictures, which was once a year. And then after a few years of just doing grad pictures, it snowballed into, hey, can you come and do the all school picture? Which snowballed into, hey, can you come and do kindergrad pictures? And then which snowballed into, hey, can you maybe do the school pictures this year? So I think it's as much as me getting practice doing it as it is for the schools and the community to be able to trust me as well to come in and do all that kind of work because it is volume photography and it is a lot of work. And from that again extended into I do the sports, and maybe there's a mom on a parent council who has seen me do work and then, hey, can you come and do our sports team? Sure, I can come and do your sports team. When I lived in Calgary, I went and did karate tournaments. I did hockey tournaments. So I've done lots of stuff like that in the past. It's starting over in a new place and then trying to figure out what have I done? What can I do in this community? What's around me? So it's taken a long time. We've been here for 15 years. I now do all the schools in Valley View, plus I do Blair, plus Fox Creek. I do lots of hockey in other communities. I do gymnastics. I do dance pictures. It's a lot. It keeps me very busy.
And unfortunately, too, you have to travel quite a ways because your community is rather small.
It is rather small, and I find the biggest challenge is actually trying to break into other communities. But it's really good because it gives you another challenge because every community, every school is different. Every sports team is different. They want something different. Their building looks different. So with that comes different lighting challenges. Their athletes are different. And just the people are different. Every community, their sense of community is different and in their support. And I really love traveling and working with different groups and different communities. It's absolutely fantastic.
And you have a little storefront too, don't you? So like you take walk-ins or something like that?
I do have a studio. For the longest time, if somebody wanted newborn pictures or family pictures, I would move all the furniture out of my basement and convert that into a studio. But with little kids, if anybody knows, that is a lot of work because you're moving the furniture and then they're always in your space. So in 2020, just before COVID was starting, I had the idea of converting our garage into a studio. So that was kind of my project, which happened at the beginning of COVID, which was really good because the lumber prices hadn't gone up yet. So yes, I do have a studio. I converted my garage, which is really great because I do get a lot of passport pictures. So I think this is the fourth year I've been doing passport pictures for Valley View, but I get a lot of people who travel through from Fox Creek, from High Prairie, from Belair, Donley, anybody's traveling through. So I take walk-ins. I get lots of people that call me from the insurance place downtown. Hi, I'm here. Can I come for a picture? Of course you can. So I'm always set up for passport pictures. And then sometimes I do mini sessions. Sometimes if somebody needs a headshot for corporate pictures or whatever. So yes, I do have a storefront and it has been working out pretty good. It's not so warm when it's -40 out, but it does really good.
I can attest to that.
It's hard to heat things in that heat, and especially a detached garage, but it's all good.
The room I do my recording in has no heating either, so I'm always with a heated blanket.
Right? So I get a lot of people, if it's just for passport pictures, I don't really heat it. The first year, I thought, oh, I'm just going to heat this all the time because I'm going to have a lot of drop-ins. And then it was like December and I got our first electric bill and I was like, oh no, that's not happening. So I went in and turned all the heat off. So I pretty much just heat it if there's actually a session happening. So a photography session, a mini session, but passport photo for 30 seconds, I'm not going to heat it.
All right, so how do you get in front of new potential clients?
That is a great question. I do a lot of scrolling through Facebook, what is happening in our community, what is happening in other communities, and there's events. And lots of times I can put an email out saying, or a message if I know the person saying, hey, have you thought about how a photo booth can enhance your event, enhance your marketing, give people something tactile to walk away from your event with? Or like a sports event or a sports group. Hi, I'm just reaching out to you. Do you have somebody who photographs your event? Who photographs your athletes for you? So it's a lot of reaching out and constantly emailing, constantly messaging people. So that is a lot of work. And sometimes it comes back and say, yes, we'd love to have you. Yes, tell me more. Sometimes it's nothing. There's no response. Sometimes it's maybe past the season, the event's already been created. Hey, we'll think about you for next year. So it's constant work.
Do you do any posting on social media yourself to get awareness out there?
I do post, I have a photography page and I have an Instagram page. I'm not so great at posting to Instagram. I am trying to get better. I don't have TikTok. But I am always trying to post when I'm somewhere, when I'm doing something, to post that this is what I'm doing, this is what's coming up. So, like this weekend, I have my photo booth at the Fireman's Banquet in Valley View. So, this is my third year being there supporting that event, which is great and for a good cause. I also have hockey pictures coming up this week, so I'll be posting that, hey, I'm out at Ridge Valley. I'm on the ice taking pictures with the Ridge Valley Wrestlers. So, yes, I do post, but again, I am only one person. So, people who, if you're out there and you are one person, it is a lot of work. I have a lot of friends who have a social media person, and I'm very jealous.
So are there some, I don't know if like common mistakes is something that we can say with people doing photos, but is there like something that people tend to do when you go to work with them?
I've worked with a lot of people. I would say it's not really a mistake, it's a misconception. Let's say I have family pictures or I have an engagement shoot, and people have gone through Pinterest and they've searched up ideas and boards that they like, which is absolutely a fantastic idea. I do it myself all the time. But I would say the biggest misconception is that people see a picture and they say, oh, I want to recreate this, not knowing that that one picture that they see probably is actually 10 different pictures that are stitched together. Or they see it overlooking, like one photo shoot that I had, they wanted to recreate a picture that was a heart in the snow, and then they were standing at the end of it. But our area is completely flat. Even if I stood on a ladder, I can't recreate this. So it's usually that kind of stuff. So I have to say, okay, let's look at this image. Let's look at this. Let's see how we can recreate it with the tools that we have, with the environment that we have, and come close to it. So I would say it's not really mistakes. I would say it's a misconception.
What are some big goals that you have in the next year or two?
I have lots of big goals. My goals is mostly with, I would say, the photo booth side of my stuff. I go to lots of conferences and I come back with lots of great ideas. And it's how to execute them in the community that we're in. And so I would like to do more corporate events. I would like to do more corporate headshots at events, show how like the photo booth is such a great marketing tool. I could make trader cards on spot. I can do so many things, make buttons on spot, make magnets on spot at an event, and just it's giving people something to take away. So really just expanding the awareness of how that extension of my business can work and work for other businesses and make their business stand out more.
Do you do trade shows?
I have not done a trade show.
I was just wondering too, like the thought came up like with Christmas market or something like that, because then maybe you could figure out a way for like an ornament or like a keepsake or something that the family could take with them or give away for Christmas.
Absolutely. And what a great idea. I have not thought about trade show. At the moment, I am planning all my Santa pictures. So, yes, but I will definitely have to look into a trade show.
What's the best advice that you have ever received?
My friend Justin, he always says, say yes and figure it out later, which I really love and hate that advice because my personality is figure it out first. So you have the confidence and then say yes. But sometimes in this industry, you don't get that advantage. So I take that and I kind of fly with it.
You might have to say no sometimes just due to conflicts of schedule, though, because you can't clone yourself. You don't have anyone else to help.
That is so true. I very rarely say no. Sometimes it happens, but I always try to figure out how to make it work.
What's the best advice you've ever given?
Don't know. I don't know. But I was just talking to my friend Naomi. She reached out to me last weekend and she was panicking about doing a shoot. And we had done a couple last May in Texas together. And I was like, you've got this. Just stay calm. Within like 30 minutes, you're gonna know everything. It's just your nerves. Stay calm and you'll be fine. So if any photographer, that's it. Just stay calm. You've got this. You know what you're doing.
So, do you have any tips for people who are building a creative business while raising a family, maybe even starting over?
I would say some tips are look for a niche in your area. Like, what is missing? What can you provide that is missing? Because you've got the information, you've got the tools, you just need to figure out how to execute it. And while with a family is really challenging. However, you have lots of family and you have lots of friends. I don't have any family in Valley View. Our closest family is 4 hours away. But I did call my mother-in-law when we had our kids really little, and I needed to do 4 days of grad pictures. So she drove 8 hours to come and hang out with our kids for 3 or 4 days so I could take pictures. And that was great. And I would call on friends to come and watch my kids, or I would drop my kids off there to do some work. So that was really, really good. Now they're self-sufficient. But while I was building my business, while they were little, I had the support of people in the community, and that was amazing. So just lean on some friends and family as much as you can while you're building your business. Ask for help. It's so important.
Yeah, don't be ashamed to ask.
Don't be ashamed to ask. And don't be ashamed to take a nap when you're really tired.
Even when your kids aren't home?
Even when your kids aren't home. Yes. And there's lots of times where, as I'm sure you are, you have lots of kids and a working mom. I worked until midnight some days because you got to deal with your kids during the day and then I can edit at nighttime. That's the nice thing about working from home, being self-employed, is that my hours are quite flexible. So if I need to send an email at, we were just talking about this, 1 a.m., because that's what I remember, that's when it can happen. It's okay.
There's office hours, then there's office hours.
That is true. My walk-in hours are until 5.
So, how do you merge fine arts with everyday moments?
How do I join fine arts with everyday moments? It's mostly in how I look at things and sometimes how I approach things. Because I went through art school, I did my master's, I worked in lots of art galleries. I've worked with a lot of big name artists hanging their exhibitions, having to work with light and having to work with position and having to work with, hey, this object works better sitting in front of this painting. I feel that knowledge really helps me form how a picture works, how people are sitting in front of the camera, how people are positioned, what's behind them, what can I see, what can't I see, how is this telling a story? So, all that has really made it better on how I can grab an idea. And I find that that's how I work. I work better for an event. I have everything planned, or a photo shoot. I have everything planned up to a certain extent. If I'm doing a family picture, okay, I know I'm going to be on your property at this time. But it all depends on how the light is hitting that barn on that day, on that time. Where is the light hitting the grass? How can we make this work? Are you going to stand behind it, in it, in front of it? And maybe it's minus 30 out and we're taking pictures and the kids are really cold. Okay, how are we going to do this? So a lot of it has to do with on the fly. And I think that taking all that knowledge that I have built up from doing all this events and everything has really kind of formed that and bringing the fine art into what I'm doing.
You definitely have to work with an element of you're not in control too, especially with your subjects and stuff.
It is a lot of you're not in control. Absolutely. But yeah, just have to be prepared as best as you can and make adjustments again on the fly with things. Batteries can die, right? The sun can go behind the clouds, the power can go out. There could be so many things that happen that you just have to kind of roll with the punches and make it work and stay calm.
That's the key. Stay calm.
That is the key. Stay calm.
So, how do you get inspiration when you travel?
Just by traveling gives me inspiration. I'm going to take this summer for an example. We went to Morocco, and just on our travels, we went somewhere to have lunch. And the whole stone wall was gorgeous in this place. So instantly, again, I took out my whatever I have. Phones are so much easier now than they used to be, and the technology is better. But I took out my phone, took some pictures of that stone wall and the area that it was in. Well, that stone wall has actually become one of the backgrounds for school pictures this year. So there's things like that happen that I'm always looking, what can I do? What can I make for a background for school pictures? Which this year I increased my backgrounds, I think by 40 different backgrounds just from this year, from things that I took ideas from, which was great. We were also in Spain for a very short amount of time, and there was a woman taking pictures. She had an old suitcase and what looked like a very old camera, but in it was a digital camera. And so she would take our pictures, and she took 3 pictures in front of this beautiful landscape. And then within seconds, it was essentially a photo booth. Within seconds, there was a piece of paper being printed out on what looked like brown paper. And it was all in Spanish, but it had our pictures on it. And it talked about things that were happening in and around Spain. And I just thought, oh my goodness, this is amazing. I need to know how you're doing this so that I can take this back. Or how can I do this for events or in our community for an event? So I'm still working on that one. But I love going places because that kind of stuff isn't happening here. I would never have found that company. I would have never have found that person. I would have never have seen that happening if I wasn't traveling. So I just love going places and talking to people so that it makes me a better photographer, it makes me a better artist in able to share my knowledge and share my ideas. And like I said, how can I make other events better for our area, our community?
So back to in Spain with that lady taking the pictures, did you realize how it printed out and stuff like that before you got your picture taken, or did you guys get your picture taken from her with her?
So we had our picture taken, and the paper was printing almost instantly. So, yes, as it's doing it, I'm like, oh, this is how this is working. This is the type of printer. Interesting. So yes, and then I was messaging my friend Jamie Cobb, and I was like, oh, check this out. And she's in the States. Check this out. I was just had this. I saw them in Spain. And so then her and I are talking about how this could possibly be working. So it's great to, again, traveling, going to all these conferences, to have all these people that I could now talk to who are doing something similar, because not every photographer is doing the same thing. Not every photo booth person is doing the same thing. But I do know people doing certain things that I can contact and work together with, which is really, really great.
And I think it's cool too how even though you do photography, you're not opposed to utilizing someone else's services.
Absolutely not. If anything, I think that you need to be supportive of each other and work together. And like Jamie is in the States, and I have lots of people that are in the States, lots of people that are in Canada. We're not competition. We are here to support each other and have questions. And some people in the industry aren't like that, but I do feel like that's how we make each other better, and you need to support each other.
Yeah, by supporting each other, we just build everything up and make it greater. And like you said, like there's a lot of fish in the sea. You're not going to catch. There's enough work for everybody. There we go.
There is enough work for everybody. I had an idea this year about doing stuff at golf courses. I have a new photo booth that is a mobile booth. And so I know from a past event that somebody was doing one at golf courses, and I thought, that's a great idea. How can I do that? And so I talked to them, I reached out to them. How are you doing this? And so it's really, really, really good community if you meet the right people and you can help each other out.
Perfect. Well, Mary, thank you for being with us today. We've talked about quite a few things, but is there something that we haven't talked about yet that you would like to?
I don't know. I think that was lots.
Well, where can we go to learn more about you and what you're up to?
You can find me on Instagram, Mary Colleen Photography. You can find me on Facebook, the same, Mary Colleen Photography. And I have a website, marycolleen.ca. And everything's listed on there. You can see glimpses of lots of things that I do. Maybe you think of how I can help you for your business. If you're in Northern Alberta, reach out to me if you have a question.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much and have a good day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Be sure to subscribe and leave some love through a review. And I'll catch you on the next episode.